All right, so we're going to build a zip line today. Ferry lines, track lines, a lot of different slang terms for it in the water service, but basically all it is, it's a shore-based rescue technique that allows you to retrieve a large number of people. We're going to use this when we have limited access with watercraft, so shallow, fast-moving water where we don't want to put props out on the water, or if we have an expanse where throwbags aren't going to get to the victims. We've got really highly fatigued victims that may not be able to grab that throwbag and really hold on to it. Any of those applications, this is an option, okay? It takes a little bit of time to set up, so you want to make sure you deploy a team way downriver to get this built up and established. You get a party barge or sailboat, something's got multiple people on it, capsizes, everybody washing down. Great system. So the first thing we need to do is have basically a control side and a lobby side, two sides of the bank, two operating teams. We've got to get rope from this side to that side. And when you're looking at how you're going to establish this, you can either use a line gun, okay, and fire a messenger line across. You can throw a throwback all the way across and then link up with that messenger across. We'll use a throwback today. Whatever it is, you're just using a messenger to get one tail of the rope over that side. Once it's there, anchor it in on that side, and then we want to set an angle across the river that's not perpendicular, okay? What this line is going to do is we're going to angle it downriver towards the bank where we want to receive the victims. If I follow that, you want at least a 45-degree angle on it. And the sharper you make the angle, the faster and easier the victims are going to come to you. So try and identify where you think these anchors are going to be. Get it anchored in on the far side. On this near side, we've got to tension this system. So we're going to build a quick 3-to-1 Z-drag, tension the line up, and then we're going to hang stringers from this tension line, which is nothing more than a carabiner with some kind of handle on it. A piece of webbing, a per 6 section, whatever you want to put on there. Space those out. It's better to use steel than aluminum because aluminum grabs the rope, especially when it's wet, more than steel does. Hang those out, victims come down, coach them to reach up and grab it with their inside hand, just like you would if you were coaching on throwback techniques. So it sets a ferry angle on their body and the current will help push them down the zip line. Okay, it's that simple and that easy. So for our equipment, you need one section of rope, you need a handful of carabiners, you need an MPD for the hub of your tensioning system, and the MPDs are the best device you can use in that application because they're going to self-mine for you. You can set the parking brake and lock them off once it's tensioned and pull off the mechanical equipment. Right? And then run our stringers. Everybody good? Okay. So step one of establishing the system is getting the line to the other side. So we've got rescuers at the intermediate island. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw a throw bag over to that guy. Once he receives that throw bag, on our end, we're going to take the tail of a rope. If he's going to do a high strength tie off, then all he needs is a carabiner also attached to that. And we're going to let him pull that across the water. We're going to try and keep the ropes up and out of the water so that we don't have current weight added to the ropes, getting them all wet, making it hard to pull them across. So try and keep the ropes up, get the system across, and then once it hits the far side, that's where you want to do the limited application of just creating an anchor. So high strength tie off on that far side or an anchor strap, line rigged in. There is some caution to be taken about not doing a high strength tie off, and that is ensuring that you don't over tension this track line. But for these applications in current, this isn't a vertical track line. This is a water-based track line where we're laterally loading it. So the forces that we're going to generate on this section of rope are not anywhere near what a vertical load is. If you do have concerns about it when you do the high strength tie off, make sure that you wrap that anchor on the upriver side. Your wrap has to start that way so that when this line gets loaded laterally, we're going to truly load the tension portion of the wrap and not load the carabiner or the slack section of the wrap on the underside or the downriver side of the connection point. So make sure your wrap goes the right way if you do a high strength tie off. Okay, try and keep this rope up and out of the water.
You're not tying that off, you're pulling that across.
As we select these anchors and put this rope in place on the river, you got to make sure that you're navigating from the bank. So you can't have this rope wrapping behind trees. So you got to use some caution. If you've got really fast current and water running through the tree systems, make sure you're using those trees as good stabilizing points and have a backup with you. Just help keep an eye on you, help get you into position. So if we look across the far bank, you'll notice that he's navigated up the river. He's going to select a good tree that's suitable, at least waist diameter of a human. Make sure it's not dead. Make sure it's viable if you're using a natural anchor like that. And make sure the height of your rigging is appropriate to keep this track line about 2 to 3 feet above the water line. If you've got really long handles that you're going to hang from this for grab handles, then you can obviously elevate that position even more so. But what we don't want to have is the rope completely in the water. We don't want it to become a true snag line for anything that's coming down the river. We want to make sure that it's not an additional hazard that we're adding.